Language. Look at all these words. Words. What a strange sound. Phonemes. Phonemes? Morphology. Morphology? Jeez, I'm stupid.
I communicate using what is known as English. It's a language. It's been around for a while. The way that I use it is not the standard way of using it, unless I'm at school. And as you can see in my table conversation map, that I have many lines drawn from myself, which is at the bottom of this circle to the top, where it says school stuff in parentheses. I have on the far left standard written next to one of the lines, meaning, communicating in a semi-formal standard way. Good day, sir. How do you do? That sort of stuff. And then I have listed a bunch of different ways that I communicate in the school realm through email and writing. I wrote down critical theory, pedagogy, and pedagogy. Courses and policies and issues and ESL methods and correspondence and logistics and all the other sounds I make with my mouth that mean things only to me and to the school and the select people in this class, but otherwise are largely just weird noises of academia to the greater populace. My other map, which I have drawn here, is a conversation map between myself, my two daughters, and my wife. I speak to each one of these people differently depending on the situation. On my map, I have a line drawn from parent to toddler.
Seven.
Parent to tween. The tween and I discuss different things than the toddler and I discuss.
And tiger sharks are not affected, well, they said they're not affected by turning off the light if you're diving, which is not smart. Yeah.
Then there's also a line drawn directly from me to my wife that I have labeled spousal stuff. This sometimes takes the form of intimate conversation and other times is about how I forgot to do something important and she wants to remind me in a very calm and collected, yelling sort of voice.
The language silhouette that I colored in class has 4 colors. One for Spanish, one for other language, and one for analyzing in English, and then another for feeling, which I don't always have words to describe my feelings, as my close friends and relatives could attest. The Spanish is bombarding my ears, as is the English, because I hear those languages frequently. Almost daily, I hear both of those languages. I felt like I needed to include other languages as well because I am familiar with other languages. I do hear them frequently, and there's also a lot of vernacular that I receive from myriad sources. I use multimedia to communicate. In this clip, you'll see me texting with my wife about our daughter. In a previous clip, I was FaceTiming with my daughter, which is mostly auditory, but we're also making faces at each other and making meaning through a digital lens as well. In addition to multimedia literacy, I'm also well versed in my disciplines vernacular. I am fairly literate when it comes to history and geography and sociology. I also spend a lot of time doing art and making music, and in those fields there are very specific ways of talking about the process and the end result. One of the examples that I really like of words that are used across many different literacies is the word pitch, which could mean to throw, as in the garbage, or like a baseball, but it can also mean total darkness, or it is a route in rock climbing, or it is the frequency of a sound. There are countless examples of words just like this in the English language that have got to be maddeningly confusing, not just for English speakers, but especially for emergent bilinguals. We as educators need to be mindful of this ambiguity in language. But this isn't the only thing that we have to put into action when in our classroom. We should really be using examples that are culturally relevant and creating homework assignments that support home culture and home language. And we also need to be responsive to potential triggers and cultural sensitivities that exist in the curriculum, because what we need to do is we need to make people feel validated and make people's experiences seem like they're an asset rather than some sort of hindrance to their acquisition of English. And there's many ways we can do this. We've discussed this ad nauseum in class, but I think just providing translations of instructions and reading materials, using culturally derived examples and visual imagery to show that school is not just for English speaking students, it's for young people in general, and that everyone's background is an asset to be celebrated.